Hi guys, so Douglas Ross is the new leader of the Conservative Party in Scotland, and well, he's a Brexiteer as well, and he wants to talk about fish in Parliament this week, and here he is giving his speech in Parliament. And because he's a Tory, of course he's going to be flexible with the truth. So let's hear what he had to say.
Just last week I was down at Buckie Harbour speaking with fishermen from Murray and also Banff and Buchan, the constituency represented by my honourable friend, the Scotland Office Minister, who's here to listen to this debate. And the sense of ambition and enthusiasm from those fishermen about the opportunities for their industry ahead was palpable. And I hate to think what those fishermen must have thought tonight as they listened to the SNP spokesperson. A speech which was sadly insulting and condescending to an industry that means so much to Scotland. Because apparently we're supposed to believe that the SNP's position is to separate Scotland from the rest of the UK, to take us back into the European Union, to be governed by Brussels.
No, you got that bit wrong. Now, maybe you're trying to construct some sort of fallacy, maybe a straw man fallacy here to say that, you know, the SNP want to do this, and which isn't actually true, and I'm going to attack this. The SNP want to create an independent Scotland that is governed by Scotland. It's not governed by Brussels. It's governed by Scotland. That's why it's independent. Do you not know what independent means? This is a typical rhetorical tool used by Brexiteers. You're governed by Brussels. Okay, so for example, I think Douglas likes to play golf. I could be wrong here. Apologies if I'm wrong. But if he plays golf, he's probably a member of a golf club. So when he became a member of the golf club, did that mean that the golf club governs him? That he's no longer a free agent? That he has to play golf 24/7? No. If I join a tennis club, I become a member, but it doesn't mean that I'm governed by the tennis club. It means that there are certain rules within the tennis club that I have to follow. But depending on the type of club that I join, perhaps I can be part of the decision making of those rules. I can actually be one of the people to write the rules themselves. Douglas doesn't seem to understand that. Now, maybe he is ignorant to this, or maybe he isn't ignorant and he's just lying.
And then to reform the common fisheries policy. To reform a policy that has not been reformed for decades, and that...
Okay, so the common fisheries policy hasn't been reformed for decades. Now, this is the Wikipedia page for the common fisheries policy. And it says here, in 2013, so in February 2013, this isn't decades, this is 7 years ago, the European Parliament voted for reform of the common fisheries policy, including measures to protect endangered stocks and ending of discards. It goes on to say the 2013 reform led to a greater role of the European Parliament, including the convening of the trilateral dialogue between the European Council, Commission and Parliament to work towards general agreement on reforming the CFP. So this isn't decades ago. This is 7 years ago. Look, I'm not the biggest fan of the common fisheries policy. But to say that it hasn't been reformed in decades is either ignorance or it's a lie. Now, if you're standing up in Parliament, you should know this.
That has been to the detriment of Scottish and UK fishermen for the last 40 years.
Okay, so he says here this policy has been the detriment of UK and Scottish fishermen. But it's, as I said, I'm no fan of the common fisheries policy. But the problem is not the common fisheries policy. The problem is that the quotas and rights to fish have been sold off by the British government. This is a report from 2018 by Greenpeace. It says here, More than a quarter of the UK's fishing quota is in the hands of a tiny group of the country's wealthiest families. An unearthed investigation has found just 5 families on the Sunday Times rich list hold 29% of the UK's fishing quota. The finding comes from an unearthed investigation that traced the owners of more than 95% of the fishing quota holdings, including, for the first time, those of Scotland, the UK's biggest fishing nation. It reveals that more than 2/3 of the UK's fishing quota is controlled by 25 businesses, not fishermen. Okay? If the fishermen want to fish, they have to pay these business owners. These people own the waters. So when the Brexiteers said we're taking back control of our waters, that's a lie. When Douglas here is saying we want to take back control of our waters, we want to take control away from the European Union, we want to control our waters, that's a lie as well, because it won't be it's not you controlling the waters, it's these millionaires controlling the waters. How these people are allowed to lie in Parliament, I don't know. How is it possible that these people lie and are not held to account by the Speaker of the House? I don't know. Why does it take people on YouTube to hold these people to account? Douglas Ross is a Brexiteer and he's a Tory. He's not interested in defending the fishing industry in the UK. Because if he was, he would be challenging and making sure that these people who own the fishing quotas would be held to account, and he's not. I'm sorry, but the fishermen and fisherwomen in Scotland need to wake up. You're being had. The Tories don't care about you. The Tories don't give a flying F about you. They'll throw you overboard like the fish that are not suitable for sale. I'm sorry for them. I understand people this is something that has gone over, has lasted for generations. But Douglas Ross doesn't give a crap about you. He'll go and he'll film, holding a fish or a crab or whatever, lobster, for the cameras, for his campaign. But as soon as he gets away from that, he'll wash his hands and he'll say, I don't want anything to do with these people. I hope the Scottish people can understand this. They're lying to you. They're trying to convince you to vote against your own interests. There are people who own the quotas and the fishing rights, and they're not you. And you will never have that. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?